Kaja Gaja? Kaja Goo Goo? Kaja Goo Goo? Am I supposed to know who that is? If you ask me, there's not enough Billy Lord. Welcome to Voice of the Fat Mantis. I am your host, the Fat Mantis, and we are going to be reviewing episode number 7 of American Horror Story, The Lady in White, a ghoulishly horrible tale that fit in right in perfectly to the Halloween season. I trust you all enjoyed your Halloween. I had an amazing time, as any good horror enthusiast should. Now, let's get into this whole review. Now, when we start this off, we've got to talk about The Lady in White. And I'm not just talking about the title of the episode, but the actual subplot that was an excursion from our normal 1984 teenagers or young people in their 20s getting murdered, hacking each other up, and sleeping with Satanists. And we'll leave that to go into the 40s. We see a young Benjamin and his verbally abusive mother, something that any growing boy should have. He, of course, is a disappointment and all sorts of other things, and it creates this very eerie ghost story. Now, the ghost story is very cliche. It's made up of almost everything we see in slasher films and all sorts of things like that, but still, it was perfectly in theme. It was perfectly in all that stuff. It was very well done. It was very well done. It was great to see Lily Rabe. What a lady. Oh, love her. Love to just see her there. And that ultimately was a very successful part of the episode. It made it one of the funnest parts on 1984. They've been actually doing real well this season. No Ugbos on this travel. I will absolutely say that was well done. Now, next we go into the other part where we have Rita and Brook and the adventures of chicks on roller skates and being 80s girls, and I loved that as well. I know a lot of other reviewers of YouTube are being very harsh on it, and they're like, it's filler, they're wasting time, they're running out of story. And I just say, negatory. I actually love it. I think it's amazing when we get to see characters do other things than just what they're programmed to be. I understand they have character arcs, they have major, as we hitting that note, hitting that beat of their story arc, but sometimes they can diverge for it, so we can see them have fun, relax, be in situations they wouldn't normally be. I really enjoyed it, and I really loved showing the girl power road trip thing against Mr. Nice Cool Mustache Pervert Dylan, I masturbate out of a window and cry every night, McDermott from Murder House fame. He returns in this sick role. It's very Johnny Morgan-esque. I really didn't love that they didn't make him Johnny Morgan, but then again, they didn't make him that different than Johnny Morgan. American Horror Story is known for taking actors and allowing them to try different things and be different people and just go in different directions. So one season, you play one type of character, and the next you play a complete opposite, and it keeps going on like that. So I was a little ashamed that they didn't try to stretch him or go elsewhere or something like that. But it was fine, he pulled it off. It was cool seeing him. This episode has been a great success. I'm going to give it a 93. Now, moving on, I really want to get into talking about Montana's body. And don't worry, I'm not a creeper, I'm not a pervert or anything. I'm not talking about a sexual way, I'm talking about a satanic way. So I want to go back into my theory that I brought up before. So last week they did a trailer for this week, and they didn't actually show what we actually saw. There was this extra scene there, and it showed them zipping up the body bag for Montana, and she's dressed up as the way she was brutally murdered by Brook. And they never showed it, never went anything. I think we're either going to see it this week or next week, where we see the Montana thing. But I believe there will be a flashback going back to Montana's death day, where Richard Ramirez has the foresight to do some sort of things. I think he's going to carve some satanic things in her, or do some ritual to her, so that he can, and he might do it with all the campers or just Montana. He's going to use it to have satanic necromantic control our beautiful Montana. Now she thinks that she's an individual, and I think that there might be angling for a thing that her and Matthew Morrison's character are going to think that they might have a chance or some sort of future or something. She's going to be able to break her away from her satanic hottie, and I don't think that's actually going to happen. I think at the last minute he's either going to control her spirit or control her corpse, or he could destroy her in similar fashion the way Michael Langdon destroyed spirits. You know, I want to talk about the girl power moments for a second. There is a 0% likelihood that Rita has turned to the light side, that she wants anything good. To be honest, after her experiences at Camp Redwood, I don't think that she was good. I thought she sat down and thought about her visitation from, that's right, from Black Star Trek alum Tuvok. When Tuvok came to her, her daddy, based off of the Grim Sleeper, look it up, came to her and told her that she was the seed of evil. I think eventually she sat down and let that process and accepted that she was the seed of evil and she needed to continue this. And I think ultimately when Brook happened to find the pamphlet with the Camp Redwood festival, the information on it, that was planted by Rita. Rita wants to make it look like it's Brook's idea to go back there, but Rita wants the slaughter to end because she herself too has accepted the fact that she's part serial killer, and there is evil corpsing through her veins. Very twisted stuff. Now, ultimately, I think we have a missing episode, and I believe that a missing episode, you know, because I don't know if you've heard, but the rumor is that there's only going to be 9 episodes this season. Very tragic, breaking my heart, messing me up immensely. I think you know, when I heard they went down to 10 after like season 5, it really hurt me. But the fact that they're, you know, it's even getting lesser is just, it's disgusting, especially since it's a great season. I want to see more, and I think I know what our missing episode should have been. Between 5, Red Dawn, at the end when Brook is taken away and framed for murder and our serial killers leave, they should not have jumped straight into 6, where you know, they quickly catch you up on 5 years of the characters' shenanigans, but rather they should have had an all Brook episode, her going through 5 years, and it's just her, and she could have friends in prison, and she can have other people and other things going on in prison, and we could just see her evolution from being a wimpy little girl into a badass prison bait. And it could play off of all these exploitation films of women in prison, which is a huge 80s thing. And she's a good girl, and she's been innocent, she's been thrown into a prison situation, and other women are going to try to turn her out, try to take her stuff, and she's going to have to slowly, and we could watch the evolution of 5 years in prison. She could have a little sub story. Maybe she could fall in love. Maybe she could have a girlfriend if they want to go there. I don't know if they do. Or maybe she could, you know, I was even thinking she could have outside love. She could have a guy who loves her outside, who starts writing to her. He could be one of those guys who's like one of the fanboys of serial killers. That happens every time serial killers are locked up, mind you. When they do, there's always somebody who contacts them as a pen pal, and they love them as, I don't know if you know, Richard Ramirez, you know, when they show him in the other episode where he's talking to Red, that's his wife. He had a fan outside in real life who contacted him, and they ended up getting married. So this would have been awesome. Brook being the star of the lost episode. Then after that, they go into episode 6, where we will catch up with the other characters and we could watch Brook's fake death. But honestly, I think I would be immensely amused if that episode was ever to come to fruition. Another thing I want to get into is the idea that Lily Ravi is actually controlling all the murders, and is the reason, of course, her blood being soaked to the ground, as she said, is what made this cycle of pain and hate, and made it like a hellmouth, or I don't know if that's the appropriate term for it, but made it a place where ghosts keep coming back and murders continuously happen. Now that's her own theory, and what it is I think it is probably more likely that the true mastermind behind all of this, or not mastermind, but evil spirit controlling everything, is Bobby. There's no way they're leaving Bobby. I assume the kid's at the bottom of the lake, but he's watching them and he's playing sick, twisted games with all of them. At the end, remember when I said Chet might come out of the water and drag Margaret down? I think it might be little boy Bobby, and we might be able to see a little Bobby come up and grab him. Is it possible that Bobby will be the end boss? That he will be the final fight? That he will be a satanic being that comes out that they all must destroy and exorcise? Am I just throwing things at the wind. Who knows? But that would be pretty awesome. I love it when American Horror Story just takes sharp turns left or right. So let's hope that maybe something like that could happen. Well, there you have it. Voice of the Fat Mantis, gold standard in covering American Horror Story and other great things such as Watchmen and all sorts of lights. And I know there's only 2 episodes left of American Horror Story, but I promise you, even after the season ends, I'm going to be covering news, information, and speculation on our next season. So let's hang in there. Just supposedly 2 episodes left. I'm hoping at least the last episode will be a double episode, but who knows what's up Ryan Murphy's sleeve. Until then, have a ghoulishly awesome time enjoying this new 8th episode. Rest in pieces. Until then, I want you to like, share, and subscribe, and love one another. Ciao for now.